Happy Monday and happy early birthday, Nuela. I hope you have an enjoyable, fantastical day, and I hope this makes it just a little extra fun. Now, before we talk about our little chipper style work set here, it's like a little sandwich. Let's talk about what we got going on. We got a Sumo good morning plus Sumo squat hold of 3 reps with a 5-second squat hold at the bottom. Then we're going to move into a single leg good morning with rotation, 3 per side, 3 to 5 per side, wherever you want to go. That's a really nice way to wake up that mid-back and those hamstrings all at the same time. Finishing off with a foot assist pistol for 3 aside and a Kang Squat with 3 to 5. So just really taking care of that lower half plus a little rotation work. We're going to hit that for 2 rounds. We're going to move down here in the bottom face. Single arm dumbbell or kettlebell deadlift for 3 aside. Then you're moving to a dumbbell or kettlebell swing for 3 to 5. Vertical power jump for 20 seconds. Lateral ski jump for 20 seconds. And then we're going to hit that for 2 to 3 rounds. Replacing these 2 bottom pieces perhaps with some box jump practice, some step up practice, whatever you're planning on doing for your box jumps. That's what we want to kind of play with closer to our work set. Our workout today is a nice little sandwich, like I said earlier. 50 kettlebell swings at a moderate kind of load to 25 box jumps and then 50 kettlebell swings. So we want to make sure that we can move those kettlebells or dumbbells relative, I don't want to say easily, but in big chunks. So we want to make sure we can hit consistent, steady chunks, or else this workout is going to be a slog fest for you guys. So I want you to make sure that you have a weight that you can move well. It's going to be tiring. It's going to get that grip going and those hamstrings going, but it's going to be a nice little cardio experience. Now with our box jump, we have a bunch of different options. We'll check that out on the workout description. We'll go over a few in our demo, but until then, let's warm up, let's get ready, let's have some fun. All right, let's get those body moving. Let's get those feet under those hips. We'll take the arms big and tall overhead. We're gonna reach it over to one side. We're gonna come back through, reach it to the other side. Come back to center, forward fold, touching those toes. We're gonna walk up those shins. Come down, framing a foot. We'll step it back into our lizard. We're going to lower that back knee. We're going to press that hip. And we're going to open up with the outside hand. Big stretch. We're going to lower down, press the hip, come through, outside hand. And one more time, pressing the hip. We'll come through and outside hand. We're going to lower that hand down, straighten out the back leg. We'll step back into our down dog, reaching through those hips. We're going to come back into our plank, stepping that foot up, nice and square in those hips. We're going to lower that back knee again, pressing the hip, opening up through that low rib. Come back down, pressing the hip, coming through, low rib, and then coming back down one more time, pressing that hip, back through, and open. Back down into that nice low lizard. We're going to straighten out the back leg. Step the foot back into the down dog. Reaching those hips. Come back into our plank. Tiptoeing those feet all the way up. We're going to roll ourselves all the way up, big and tall. Big stretch. Big stretch. And come back down with those hands. Woo. Get ourselves ready to go. Now, let's pause the video. Take down any extra movement you like to do, maybe some cat-cow, thread the needle, work some more rotation, maybe a little bit more lower half. But let's take ourselves down, get ourselves ready, and now we're going to move into that next phase of work. Alrighty guys, we're going to start focusing on that lower half with a little bit of rotation work. We're going to start off with a Sumo good morning. So we're going to get our stance into our Sumo stance, nice and tall, nice and open through the hips. We're going to draw the hips back into that nice hinge, and then we're going to stand up nice and tall. And now from here, we're going to move into a Sumo squat hold. So we're going to draw our hips down towards our heels. We're going to hold that position for 5 seconds, pressing those knees out a little bit more than normal, and focusing on keeping that body up and as tall as we can. So our goal here is to really open up the hips, open up those knees and ankles, as well as touching on those hamstrings in that nice hinge. So take your time between these 2 movements. We have that nice hinge, reset, take that good squat mechanic down, focusing on that bigger press out, but again, not so much that the toes come off the floor. From there, we're gonna move into a little rotation work. So my feet are gonna be under my hips. One foot is gonna go out to the front, relatively close. I'd say about a foot to about half a foot's distance in front of my other one. My knuckles are gonna come in center line. I'm gonna squeeze back into that nice hinge, maintaining that nice back position, and then rotate through that little rib, and then stand tall. So we're really working on that nice hinge with the square hip, and then rotating towards the lead leg in that nice rotation at the low rib. So take your time with this. I'm gonna do one from the side, because what we wanna focus on is balance, and really focus on hitting that upper hamstring, lower glute as we hinge, and then rotating at that low rib toward that T-spine. So taking your time for this. If we go too fast, we might fall over, lose our balance, and or maybe not set those hips up properly in between reps. So really take that time, dial that in. They're nice, smooth movements to get your hamstrings and your core ready to go. After that single leg good morning with rotation, we're gonna move into our foot assist pistol. So we're gonna get ourselves set up here with that foot in our kickstand position. Hips are square to the front, and we're gonna work on a squat position. So we're gonna take our hip back towards our heel. So we're taking it down. You can use your arms for balance, that kickstand leg for balance, but primarily we're focusing on our weight being in that front working leg. So really staying over top of that leg as we work through that nice squat mechanic. From here, our last piece to bring everything together is our Kang Squat. So earlier we worked on that hinge plus squat hold. Now we're gonna bring it all together into one movement. So we're gonna get our feet in our natural squat stance. So hip to shoulder width, depending on you. Nice and tall. We are going to draw the hips back first in that good morning. From here, we're gonna pull the hips towards the heels, lifting our chest in that nice squat position, and then push into our good morning with soft knees, and then open up those hips and stand tall. And we're gonna take some time in those positions. So at speed, we draw back, we feel our hamstring, we pull into the bottom of that squat, we push up into our good morning, and then we stand up nice and tall. So it's a smooth flow with little pauses in each position, just to own those positions and feel your balance and feel those muscles. We're trying to wake up in them. As a quick recap, we have a Sumo good morning to Sumo squat hold for 3 reps, and that'll be a 5-second squat hold. Single leg good morning with rotation, 3 to 5 per side. Foot assist pistol for 3 a side, and a Kang squat of 3 to 5 reps for 2 rounds. So you're gonna nail those things, work that body, get it ready to go, because next we're gonna get a little bit more explosive. We're going to start warming up some movements you'll see in our workout. Okay, we're going to kickstart off our kind of second half with some skill work with the dumbbell or the kettlebell. And we're going to work on a single arm deadlift. And we're just using that to just gear up that hinge pattern that we're going to use in our swing. So I'm going to stand right over top of my dumbbell or kettlebell. So in a sumo position, I'm going to draw my hips back. I'm going to take my body down towards the floor, towards that kettlebell or dumbbell. Now, depending on what you have, will depend on how deep you have to go. So if you have a dumbbell, you're going to be in a deeper hinge position. If you have a kettlebell, you're going to come down a little less in terms of your distance. So again, we draw the hips back. We take the body down to where we feel comfortable, keeping our weight through the midfoot. Chest is up, nice and solid, so we can feel those legs and feel that good hinge position. Our primary focus is that back position and our balance through the foot. We're going to take on 3 per side to gear up those hamstrings. Now from here, we're going to move right into some swings. And if you have a kettlebell, you'll hold 2 hands on the handle. But if you have a dumbbell, there's a few different ways we can hold this. One of which, holding the bell itself so it hangs down. The other, holding both hands on the handle. And the third is a single arm swing. And I've been quite fond of the single arm dumbbell swings since we started playing with them. They're a great alternative to the kettlebell swing. It's a great action, works on some anti-rotation and position work, and it's a nice way to work on some unilateral work. So don't shy away from them. If you'd like to play with this, play with it. If you're doing the single, you'll alternate after every 5 to 10 reps. So we're going back and forth, getting a nice balance between both sides. Now, regardless of how you hold the dumbbell or the kettlebell, it's the same swing mechanics. So I'm going to hold by the bell today. So I want you guys to watch this. My feet are in that kind of sumo to squat stance-ish, whatever kind of gives us enough room to get that swing going. I'm going to pull back into that hinge, or my power position. So I pull into the hinge, stand. I pull, stand. And I'm pulling my body back into that hinge, allowing my body and my legs to move the dumbbell with the kettlebell. I'm not using my arms to lift the bell. I'm just guiding the bell and moving with it with the arms. So I want you guys to experience that weightlessness. All right, there's a moment in that swing where that dumbbell or kettlebell feels weightless, and then we kind of experience that weight again. We just want to experience that not over pull with the arms. It's very similar to our movement that's coming up next. So our next movement to continue on that nice aggressive kind of explosive position is our vertical power jump. So you'll notice when I turn pro. So our positioning for these two pieces are very, very similar. So if you watch, when I go into my power position, I'm pulling my hips back slightly, my knees are going slightly out, and the only difference is my hands are outside of my body opposed to underneath at the hip, holding onto a kettlebell. So what we're looking at is 20 seconds of vertical power jumps. Now these don't have to be they don't have to be high, that's the proper word, all right? We just want to focus on that absorbing of our body. And what that means, I'll show you right now for 3 in a row. I draw back. So I'm absorbing into that next rep. Now if you're looking at that going, okay, that's great. I don't know if I'm going to go that high. That's okay. It can totally look like so. I swing. The height is not the issue. What we're looking for is that drawing back into this position. I come up, and I pull back into that nice absorbing position. Our goal also is to land like a ninja, nice and quiet. So we're landing soft, not kind of giving us that shock wave up the body, just landing, absorbing that impact. So with that 20 seconds of work, let's shoot for 3 to 5 reps, rest a bit, 3 to 5 reps, rest a bit, and just take it nice and steady in small bite-sized chunks to keep the movement clean. From there, we're going to continue some jumping or some stepping in a lateral fashion. We're going to work the lateral ski. So I'm going to pull everything into one leg, swing my arms and extend, swing my arms, extend, swing my arms, extend. And I'm going to pause on each side briefly to show control in that lateral movement. Now with this, it doesn't have to be far, right? If you're starting with that jump, it can be over, right? Or you can do it the same style, and you can do it with a step. So I swing, step, drag, swing, step, drag, swing, step, drag. I'm still getting that flow with the body, with the leg, and the timing is still there. So I'm teaching my body to use everything instead of just kind of reaching with my leg. So we want to try and use the entire body in that movement. Now as a quick recap for this, we have the single arm dumbbell / kettlebell deadlift for 3 per side, dumbbell or kettlebell swing for 3 to 5, vertical power jump for 20 seconds, and then a lateral ski jump for 20 seconds. Working on getting that skill work in there, some absorption work, some lateral work, and then replacing those last 2 pieces closer to the workout with perhaps what you're going to use in your workout. Now getting to the workout, let's talk about that right away. So pause this video right now, take down that skill work, get yourself ready. We're going to talk about how this workout's going to flow. Now we've made it to the workout. Very straightforward today. It's a nice kettlebell sandwich. So these movements will interfere with each other. We are basically doing a very similar movement pattern today for all 3 of these movements. One with load, one without. So what we have for you guys is 50 kettlebell swings at a moderate, heavyish load, 25 box jumps, and then 50 kettlebell swings again. So that last set of 50 is what we're really gearing our weight for. Not the first 10. We're looking at that whole last set of 50 and saying, woo, what am I going to be able to do in my kettlebell sets, hopefully maintaining 15 to 20s? What kind of weight can I use here? So make sure we're choosing wisely moving into that last set. Now, in terms of the swing, we talked about the swing earlier on in our warm-up. Scroll back, check out those points of performance. The big thing here is picking how you're going to hold the dumbbell or the kettlebell and then breaking it down into sets that you feel comfortable working with. The next movement is our box jump. We haven't talked about that yet, but I have a box here. If you have an apparatus that you are comfortable jumping on that's stable, we can do box jumps. So what we look at is standing relatively close to the box. We get that same motion that we use in our vertical power jump, except we jump on. Stand tall, step down. I prefer, and I kind of suggest people step down unless they have a very soft rebound and they're used to jumping off of things, because that jump down is where we kind of run into all those issues in jamming the ankle, the knees. So if you have it, rock it. If not, just step down. You're not going to lose any intensity in your work set. You still get that good explosive jump and power output. Now, if you have an apparatus you're not comfortable jumping on, you want to step on, we can also do some step-ups. So we can take our foot on top, push through the leg, step down, push through the leg, step down. Now we're coming to full extension on the box, standing nice and tall, and we're not loading these today. So if we're doing step-ups, they're unloaded. You really need to. You can do 26 to balance it out, but if you're like, nah, I'm good with 25, that's also very fine. You can also do a lateral step over. So we push through the leg, come over, and go back and forth side to side. Now with that lateral step over, again, if you'd like to do 26 of those, you can. But we're also trying to focus on keeping that heel nice and stacked under the knee as we kind of come down to the floor. So we're not trailing and dragging this knee into this kind of compromised position. So we're staying relatively close to the box the entire time. Now, if you don't have an apparatus that you'd like to use in our box jumps today, what you can do is you can substitute the box jump for our vertical power jump that we used in our warm-up, or you can rock our broad jump. So it's the same motion as the vertical power jump, except we're jumping forward. So we swing, whoop, and we land with that focus of landing in that good power position, absorbing the impact, and going from there. Now, if you have a smaller location you can work out in at home, just do singles, turn around singles. If you have a longer trail, you can actually link them and go a few at a time. So it's up to you and where you have space, and work that lovely, lovely broad jump. Now, there'll be some other options there for you guys if you want to take a peek at the workout description. Please check that out, but have some fun with that. Pick one that maybe you haven't used yet before if you have some different options, but have some fun with this one, you guys. It's going to be a gasser. If you are choosing to do box jumps, please, please, please break them down. Make sure we are focused on having legs and that every box jump is accurate, especially the first 5 after those kettlebell swings, because those hips might not have as much juice in them as you might think moving into that first set of 25, okay? So, as a recount with this workout, we have a kettlebell swing, 50 reps, breaking them down as you need to. Box jump, 25 reps, breaking them down, and then finishing off with 50 kettlebell swings again to close out our work set. I'm excited for this one. I hope you guys are too. It's going to be a relatively quick little chipper. It's not going to feel quick, but it's not going to take too long with this kettlebell sandwich. Happy early birthday, Nuela. I hope you enjoy your day. I hope this brings some extra joy into your day and life. And everyone out there, as always, work for quality, have a ton of fun, and we'll see you tomorrow for a little bit of strength.